Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. U.S. Iran to begin indirect talks on nuclear program, sanctions relief. The United States, like Iran, said it did not anticipate direct talks between them at present. The United States and Iran said Friday that they would start indirect talks with other major world powers next week to try to get both countries back into an accord limiting Iran's nuclear program, nearly 3 years after President Donald Trump pulled the U.S. out of the deal. Participants in the accord over Tehran's nuclear ambitions, including China, France, Germany, Russia, and Britain, said their officials would meet in person on Tuesday in Vienna, the European Union said after a video conference. The fresh talks next week will involve shuttle diplomacy with U.S. officials. The U.S. will not take part directly in the main negotiations since former leader Donald Trump withdrew from the deal in 2018. However, the EU said its mediator will hold separate contacts with officials from Washington in the Austrian capital. The painstakingly negotiated accord saw Iran granted relief from international sanctions in exchange for accepting limits on its nuclear program aimed at easing fears it could acquire an atomic weapon. State Department spokesperson Ned Price called the resumption of negotiations in Austria a healthy step forward. But Price added, "These remain early days, and we don't anticipate an immediate breakthrough, as there will be difficult discussions ahead." Trump pulled the United States out of the Iran nuclear deal in 2018, and President Joe Biden has said rejoining the agreement is a priority. The Biden administration and Iran have differed on any conditions for that to happen, including the timing of the lifting of U.S. sanctions against Iran. The stalemate on those points had threatened to pose a major foreign policy setback for the new Biden administration. Agreement on the start of multi-party talks being held to get Iran and the United States over their differences on conditions for returning to the 2015 nuclear deal came after talks Thursday brokered by the other governments that have remained in the accord, known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA. Price said next week's talks will be structured around working groups that the European Union was forming with the remaining participants in the accord, including Iran. The primary issues that will be discussed are the nuclear steps that Iran would need to take in order to return to compliance with the terms of the JCPOA, and the sanctions relief steps that the United States would need to take in order to return to compliance as well, Price said. The United States, like Iran, said it did not anticipate direct talks between the U.S. and Iran now. Price said the United States remains open to that idea, however. Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif immediately stressed that no meeting was planned between officials from Iran and the U.S. In a tweet, Zarif said the aim of the Vienna session would be rapidly finalize sanction lifting and nuclear measures for choreographed removal of all sanctions, followed by Iran ceasing remedial measures. Iranian state television quoted Abbas Araghchi, Iran's nuclear negotiator at the virtual meeting, as saying during Friday's discussions that any return by the U.S. to the nuclear deal does not require any negotiation and the path is quite clear. The U.S. can return to the deal and stop breaching the law in the same way it withdrew from the deal and imposed illegal sanctions on Iran, Araghchi was quoted as saying. Russia's ambassador to international organizations in Vienna, Mikhail Ulyanov, said that the impression is that we are on the right track, but the way ahead will not be easy and will require intensive efforts. The stakeholders seem to be ready for that. Any return of the United States to the JCPOA would involve complications. If you like this video, hit the notification button for more news from Middle East. Thank you for watching.